Hello. In this video, I will be demonstrating the capabilities of the alpha release of the Mule Control Center. This is a cloud service designed to immensely facilitate the use of MuleSoft technologies. The first release set of features is role management. So why role management, you might ask, since that is already a capability of Anypoint? Well, that's because the role management features of Anypoint suffer from various significant flaws. So I will be demonstrating. As you can see here, we have the Anypoint role management section. And as you can see, there is a number of roles which are hard-coded, so you cannot modify them. Now, Anypoint does provide the ability to create custom roles, which is good and perfect because that is what an enterprise customer would want. They will want the ability to create roles that match their teams. So let's just say, for example, I want to have a normal developer role and then a senior developer role, which has more capabilities to access more environments where normal developer will be more restricted. So let's just say here, I'm going to add a senior developer, senior developer, senior dev. So far so good. Anyone who uses this will be quite happy. Now let's just say I need to add a set of permissions. So a senior developer should have access to all environments except production. And he has a number of features. So let's just say this permission, this permission, this permission, and this permission. Now here already I'm starting to hit something that is inconvenient. I can't just now say, well, I want all of those for all of those environments. No, I have to do this repeatedly. So, and then I have to go back and repick the same ones. And now pick the next environment and add. And go and pick again. Oops, and then this doesn't always start at the beginning, so it's asking to make a mistake. Now that's a problem with doing this kind of operation where you have to repeat the same thing over and over and over. It really guarantees that human mistakes will happen. It's very, very error prone. QA sandbox. So not only I had a lot more work defining those permissions through a process that is very error prone, but also this is not really very readable. So one of the important things about role management is you really need to be able to see clearly what a role can do so that managers can make sure that people don't have access to things they shouldn't have. Now, because this duplicates the same thing over and over and over, it's really not clear, especially if you had more permissions and more environments. Imagine if there's 10 permissions, 10 environments. This would scroll down and down and down. It's not really readable. On top of that, it has some really bad quirks. So for example, let's just say I want all permissions. So rather than just those ones, so let's just say I would do select all, I would do design, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's not smart. If I define a permission he already has along other one that it doesn't has, it's not like it's just going to add the one that is missing. No, it's going to fail. So I need to specifically only include the ones that it didn't have. So, and then this whole scrolling is no, that's this one, this one, this one, and that one. So now, if I didn't make a mistake, yes, now it's added it. So that's rather painful. But no matter how painful this is, it's not the end of the world. It's just error prone and more work. But a much more serious problem is, so I have a senior developer, and my senior developer needs to be able to do things like access exchange. It needs to do things like own APIs. So normally I would expect to be able to just add the permission for that. It's not possible. Why it's not possible? It's because those permissions are not really permissions. They're in a way magic permissions that are only part of those hard-coded roles. So I can no longer just assign senior developer to my senior developer. I need to assign senior developer role and also assign Exchange viewer role, Exchange contributor role, API version owner role, API creator role. So I'm going to have to keep somewhere else at any point, not like a spreadsheet, where I'm going to keep track of which roles should be assigned to which type of person. So that's really, really bad. It pretty much cripples the ability to create custom roles. And it has more risks of mistakes, which at best would be mistakes where you could have a senior developer who is missing a permission and then he has to go ask and then needs to go check. But on a worst case, it could lead to errors, worse errors, which is granting access that someone should not have. So that's fundamentally the biggest issue, really, and that negates most of the benefits of using custom roles. So here now we have the custom Mule control center. So let's recreate this role in MCC. So we got. So here, first of all, you'll notice those custom roles, those hard-coded roles are gone. So you only see your custom roles. So I'm going to create senior developer, senior dev. Okay, so I've got my role created and now I can assign it permissions. So now let's just say I want API manager environment. So now here's the big difference. I don't have to repeat the same thing over. I can just pick and voila. So that was, so rather than repeating X times per environment, so 10 times if I had 10 environments, it was just a much easier selection and much more natural kind of approach. So I need him to be able to delete applications everywhere except prod. So that's the first step. So less clicking, less mistakes. But that's not all. Also, those magic permissions, which are in those hard-coded roles, in here, they've become permissions. So I no longer have to fight with multiple roles. I just create my custom role and I give API creator and I give portal viewer. So it's now hiding those custom roles and making them look like permissions. So now it's really much more readable. I can just assign my user, my senior dev to this single role, and if I need to go look at what does this role grant, I can just come here very easily and see the different permissions in a very readable and very maintainable way. So my senior dev can API manager in design pre-prod QA sandbox, delete applications in design pre-prod QA sandbox, and is an API creator and is a portal viewer. So it's a very, very big difference from being able to read this than having to read that big list of and then it's in multiple places and then having to go and assign permissions into those custom roles. So that's it. In the next version, I'll be adding the ability to manage projects. So that will include a very powerful templating system that basically will work through asking various questions and based on that generating your project and including automatically updating the project into your version control repository optionally. If you don't want to do that, you can just download it. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll be uploading another one when the new features are available. Thank you.